Hello, everyone. Today is July 21st. This is the Ingress NGINX sub-project meeting of SIG networking, which means that it is subject to the CNCF Code of Conduct, which means be awesome to each other. If you have any issues with anyone in the meeting, please report those to the maintainers. Or if it's with us, please report that to the CNCF and SIG networking chairs. Thank you. We'll go ahead and get started. I see a couple new names. Or maybe names that haven't been here in a while. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to the group, go right ahead. If not, we can just roll into some of the updates.
Hi James, hi everyone. So I'm Harry. So I have joined the last meeting and I have started working on some of the issues recently. Created a few PRs and hope to learn more on this thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Harry. Yeah, I recognize your voice. I didn't recognize the name. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we can go ahead and move on. Ricardo, you said you wanted to jump the line for the issue triage and talk about the
Yeah, I keep doing that because anyway, unless the issues that we have
we have
they are
7
for
pages of
stabilization.
issues.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and right now I'm being a jerk. I just care about the ones that are related to the stabilization and bug fixes. So I wouldn't just look into the features right now, at least for my side, right?
yeah, I've only been looking at issues. I've been trying not to look at feature
Yeah.
requests, but that's fine. What's the number on that? Well, I guess I can just go to the board because I put it in progress for you.
Yeah. So here it is. So I have started working on this, and I've been I opened a PR to move things to the right places, and I have a bunch more of those. Actually, I have started working on this in a single branch, but I think it would be better if I can just cherry pick and move those the new the other cleanups that I've been doing to different PRs. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge, massive PR just to split control plane and data plane. I have put some document on the architecture choices that we need to make, and so there is a proposed solution, but there is not final not final conclusion on that. So I've sent on the channel, and I really hope that people can take a look into that document and discuss, because there are some important discussions, like which approach should we use, like gRPC or XDS, and those are gonna actually. I will keep updating this document as soon as I figure out there are some new things that needs to be discussed. So the first
Where's
one,
that doc at, Ricardo, so I can pull it up for everyone.
yeah, sorry, let me add the link in the Zoom chat. Just a second, and copy. Yeah, sure. So here it is. Yeah. So that's in Zoom chat.
Yep.
So the first problem. So it's not as hard as I think, at least, to separate into 2 or 3 programs, right? So as soon as we have well defined what each component should do, and I try to be really explicit on that. I know that, as an example, the sorry, the data plane should never import any Kubernetes library unless that Kubernetes library is some util or something like that. So no API machinery, no client, nothing, right? And with that in mind, I know that if we are importing something on the data plane that's Kubernetes library, we are wrong, because we shouldn't be caring about Kubernetes on the data plane unless on the APIs that the control plane will provide to us. So this is your configuration. Do whatever you need to do with your configuration, right? So this is the data model that you understand. And I figured out that there are some things inside the functions that should be data plane only, but still on the old Ingress, that they go to, let's say, to the config map to get some config map like, hey, is like snippet allowed or not? Is something allowed or not? And this is gonna be the first. This is gonna be probably the first thing that I'm gonna attack as soon as I can finish cleaning up and splitting the code. So I have a plan for that, and I wanna add probably the plan on the implementation details in Ingress. So I wanna separate everything that's gonna be shared between control plane and data plane. So some util packages like sets, SSL, dealing, whatever. So things that are part of that can be shared with all of the programs, right? I want to split the API. Right now, the API, what I call API is the Ingress data model. So that configuration, servers, TCP, certificates, whatever, that's going to be shared by the control plane and the data plane. And then after that, I will start really working on the on separating the codes, right? And the first thing that I realized is that we should decide which approach to take, and if we are gonna send every time the whole configuration to the whole data plane, or if we wanna define different endpoints and whatever, and have like a full reconciliation process every 5 minutes, as an example. And why I am bringing this to you, because we may end up bringing us a different problem if we do the split between control plane and data plane. Like, hey, we solved the whole security problems, but right now, if someone is fancy enough to keep creating and removing like a virtual host or a pod in crash loopback or something like that, we are going to keep receiving full updates every time this happens. And if you have like a huge configuration or a huge data structure, it's going to end up being like 5 megabytes or 10 megabytes to 20 data planes. So you're going to end up with another scalability problem and performance problem, right? So all of this is actually explained on this document, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that I'm fully focused on this right now. So I'm not taking care of any other PR. I'm not looking into any other issue. Just this, and it's going to be a huge and massive work. So instead of doing the whole PR, expect more smaller PRs from my side, like moving things from one side to the other side. I will try to explain why I'm doing that, but I wanted to move fast with that, right? So let's try to be really assertive on the reviews, because I'm just moving code right now, but I want to make sure that everybody understands why I'm moving that code, and later why this is going to be easy to have like the final PR as just like being the split between control plane and data plane. Okay, and but yeah, please keep bringing the feedback on that, and take a look into the document as well, and bring some feedback on that, because yeah, I think it's important, because I may be also missing something on that.
I like the approach. It makes sense from a just understanding the changes and the differences. So when that last one comes through, I like the approach. As far as the scalability, sorry, as far as the scalability is concerned, I think once we get that, just to understand what the actual impact is, we should probably get that K6 stuff working so that we can understand what 130 looks like compared to all of these changes that are coming in, so that we can have that answer for folks. Because yeah, I agree, this is the same problem that endpoints had.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's correct. That was
But
what I had in mind. Yeah, go ahead, Lom.
nah, I was just going to say only Jintao can understand the changes you're making for now. So whether it's good or bad doesn't matter, because I think you should go ahead, whatever. And then when after 2 months of your work, when it starts looking like a split control plane and data plane scenario, then testing will help. But yeah, if you are right now, even before starting the work, if you're saying that scalability in terms of reloading configuration and synchronization is going to be a problem, I am not a developer, so I can't advise at all. But I'll tell you right now, there is one more new issue already open about scalability. I can give you a link number, but we don't need to visit that right now. But they're talking about 15 MB size of just the NGINX conf. And they're saying it looks like they are a provider of some kind, or a big like not a cloud, but they do work for some kind of a very big provider, and they have this not scalability as such, but they have performance issues, as in reloading. So,
Okay. We've had this discussion and problem before. I think this might be a good conversation we have. Maybe we schedule a separate design session, and Carol, we could bring in some of the NGINX folks and just talk about how we can split the NGINX conf to make it smaller, or maybe some other ways of how you guys have tackled large NGINX distributions like that.
Yep, I had just pinged the NGINX crew about this discussion, and Damien will be joining shortly. He has a conflict, but he does plan on joining this meeting in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big one, so we probably want a separate discussion, just for just for this.
Yeah.
So we can also get to the other issues at hand, but
Makes sense.
this is the big one.
Ping me offline, and you and I can set some time I can coordinate the NGINX crew.
Sure.
yeah, so
Thank
we
you.
should
Yeah.
have another one like this. We should have another session just like this one, but dedicated to just that
Yep.
performance reload thing.
Okay, so we'll put the action item for me to coordinate that with everybody. Ricardo, does that help you ask with this document? And I'm sure everyone needs to review this as well, because it's the first time I've seen this.
Yeah, and just to be honest, sorry, to be honest, Long, I don't. So I don't expect everybody to understand Go or whatever I'm doing there, but I expect that everybody understands why we are doing that, right? So I think that more important on the how is why everything the things they are being made. So it's more like an architectural choice than the technical choice on the code. So yeah, if you see and if you open the PR just out of your curiosity and you see something that you want to understand why the thing is being made, even like, hey, I don't understand Go, but why the package has this name, or why you are moving to this place or whatever, I think it's fine to ask, right? My only ask right now, and I understand that actually Jintao is the only one, actually anyone in Ingress NGINX, and this is why I send on the channel, because anyone that wants to be a reviewer on Go can go ahead and review my code. It's fine, and ask and say, hey, this looks good to me or not. It's really fine, right? So my only ask on that is that we try to be assertive on the changes. So not be like, hey, being really clear. Just be careful with any nitpicking on that, right? So
Right.
yeah,
So
that's correct, Intel. Yeah.
right. So basically, with the whole decision of going into this maintenance mode and the big change, at the end of the tunnel, after 6 months, we should be coming out with an action plan. Right now, we don't have an action plan. So we should have action plan for that reload and performance thing. And we should have an action plan for observability, very easy observability. So we should offer the tooling or documentation for observability, because people will want to know the small, the minute details, as in if they added like 2,000 or 3,000. So that's the big change that is happening with this whole exercise, right? So one is the performance, second is observability, and third one is the feature set that you think you're going to decide right? What you're going to remove, what you're going to keep
Yeah.
on those aspects.
I
And
mean,
the
those are all going to
features.
be,
Yeah, go ahead, James.
I was gonna say, those will all be announced in the release notes as we remove and deprecate things. So we're still
Yeah.
going to be doing releases throughout all of this. I think that this is just a focus of what we're working on. So that's why we wanted to keep track of issues that come up as we're moving through all of this and making these changes. We're focusing on the things we want to focus on for the stabilization project and not new features. So, all the things that we talked about before. So
Right.
if we're not making those clear, yeah, definitely make sure that we're making those clear in the release notes. Like, I think that's why we pointed out that we're dropping 119 and adding 124 and adding the new privileges. So things like that, we want to make sure it's very clear to the end users in the release notes of what's changing.
Okay, yeah, got it. Okay. And those releases will be coming out of that branch, right? The 130 release branch, or not from main, right?
That again is probably still not clear. So Ricardo, are we going to just release from 130 branch, or are we releasing from main still?
Uh,
I don't see why we can't just release new, unless it's like the major break fixes, like the control plane split, we're not going to do until we're absolutely ready, and that's going to be a 2.0 release.
Yeah.
But like the vulnerability fix thing, that's going to be a 131. That's an Alpine bump, things like that. The PR that I just accepted for, there was a Datadog version bump. Those are all regular releases that I think can go to like 131 and above.
We just need to, like, as they are merged on main, we just need to cherry pick them. But I'm fine with just cherry picking those, like any of those that are bug related. We can just cherry pick and make new releases. It's fine.
Okay, so our go forward model is we'll cherry pick into the 130 release branch and release from there.
Or should we ask people who bring in these PRs to do two PRs, one for main, one for the?
No. It's gonna
No.
just bring more confusion on the Git.
Yeah.
The Git tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do those as the maintainers. We'll manage that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then can we start maintaining a document or start putting the cherry picks that are already needed right now? Because I think 2 of my PRs need cherry picking, and there are others.
Okay. Yeah, that's something we probably should talk about. We probably want to look at that when we think we're gonna do a release.
Mhm.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So we can just start up like an issue for like 131 or 1.4 release and have folks put in the commits that we want to cherry pick.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Does it sound good to you, Gentile, Ricardo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll just all right. Sounds good. Anything else before we go into doing issue triage? We'll do some issue triage for about 10 minutes and then we'll go into the project stabilization. Or
Not for me. We can just go ahead.
okay.
Ricardo, where's the document you were showing? Which document you were showing?
This one?
I'll add it into the notes as well.
Yeah, that's on the Zoom chat as well.
Open topics. Here we go. So everyone else has access to it. So it's there. Okay. Let's jump into this the fun bit. I don't know if anybody's been looking at any of these. It's like we got an issue with the health endpoint.
Can you roll out a bit what means breaks?
What'd you say? Do you need me to scroll
The
down?
health Z endpoint no longer works. Don't use configuration snippet.
So setting up a redirect and it breaks health endpoints. Okay. New version. That's fun. So it sounds like we need somebody to verify that this is an issue.
Yeah.
Harry, do you have any time you want to look into this? Because I know the rest of us have
Oh,
issues
yeah,
from the
sure,
stabilization
James.
project.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Can you post your GitHub handle?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's gonna yell at me about.
It's Harry1064.
I don't think we can assign it unless you're in the. But yeah, that looks like an issue.
I think Harry, you need to go to the issue and do the /assign for yourself.
Yeah, it probably won't let me. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do that. Yeah, 8852, right?
Yep. Yeah, because you're not a Kubernetes member. All right. Yeah, that sounds like an issue. Just to verify that it is an issue and then test it. Looks like he's on 2.1 and it probably is going to be in 3.0 as well. So I would test it with his version and then 3.0 and then just report back in the comments and we can add it for follow-up for next week.
Yes, sure.
Oh, look, your favorite thing, Ricardo, gRPC.
Hey, what?
Pseudo header set to upstream balance when service upstream is true. That sounds like an issue.
Upstream balance. Just roll out. Let me see the problem. I also didn't want to make gRPC, blah blah blah. Okay, assign that one to me and I will take a look as soon as I understand all of what gRPC does.
Oh, looks like we got a lot more conversation going in here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. He gave us a repository to reproduce the issue. That's awesome.
Cool.
Oh, he's saying that this might actually be an NGINX issue and not the Ingress issue.
Assign to Carol then.
Under Damien, please.
Right. I did some internet search, found an official way to use gRPC set header to set the authority, but I found Kong is resolving the issue by using a Lua script. We've got to be a little bit more careful about removing the kind bug until we do triage accepted. That's just, I want to say that for everybody. Because we don't know it's a bug until someone has done the triage and has verified it. So we want to probably err on the side of caution of trusting the user that it's a bug, especially if they're using newer versions and giving us a lot of information.
Right. So I do the description, just that in this case, there is no sign of TLS anywhere. I thought there is no sign of TLS, and they didn't put in the information related to the example gRPC app and saying that happens there as well. So once they do that, I was going to add it back.
Okay. No, Ricardo, as many times as I type your name, I should have it memorized.
I
R-I-K.
K-A-Z. Yeah, that's me.
Why isn't it the same between Slack?
And Twitter. I don't
And
know.
Twitter.
I thought about
That's a branding
changing mine.
problem.
Yeah, I thought about changing on GitHub, but then I would need to take care of so many permissions that I just gave up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I've been reading a branding book lately, and I was just like, that's why I was like, it's got branding because that's why I've got everything the same. Sorry. back to the issues. Looks like we've got another fun
Yeah, this is the
performance
one about,
scalability issues.
yeah, this is scalability one, the big one. Look at that,
I
15
think
MB.
that one was already with me, right? Or no?
No, it's not assigned to anyone.
Yeah, assign this one to me, and I will take a look as soon as I just make sure that. So actually, this is the one that we should discuss with NGINX folks, right? With
Yeah.
F5 folks. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put this as the underneath the action items. So under this one.
And the other one where they have where Ricardo, you already assigned to you the one which with the code dump.
Okay.
They both are.
Okay, yeah, but as I am really focused on that split control plane and data plane, I want to look into all of those issues after I'm sure that we can split them, so I know that the problem is in one side or on the other side. Okay.
Right.
All right. All right. Got that one. Got
Hey,
time for a couple more.
James,
Yeah.
I think you should list the other one as well, the one with the code dump along with this one.
What do you know the number for the core dump?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. One moment.
Oh, pathing issues. That sounds like fun. While you're pulling that up, I'm just gonna pull up the next one.
8166.
8166. That's an old one. Okay, I added it. The pathing issue one. I saw there was somebody wanted to say something. Okay,
I thought I forgot my microphone open. Sorry.
it's all good. Did somebody figure out the issue to fix this? Were we just going to? I think the easiest issue on this one is to just run the hack script inside of the Docker container and just do it that way. That way we don't have to worry about the set issue.
No, it works for Jintao and he's on Linux. It works for me and I'm on Intel Mac. It works for Ricardo. He's on Intel Mac.
I've seen this issue, and that's why I think I added the -i. That's why I would say if we just run it in the Docker container, it's not an issue because then we can control that it's Linux, and then it will be the GNU said, and we don't have to change it. We can just make a note at the top of the script, because I bet if I run this right now, I'll have this issue. I think I installed GNU said, so it was the same thing with that. So I'm just saying if we have issues like this again, we just start running all of the scripts inside our Docker containers.
No, but look at the Slack chat. I copy pasted the image. You can see I did it on my Intel Mac just now, about half an hour or 2 hours ago, and I don't see it happening.
Look at the version. Look at the version of said.
You just open the Slack chat, that picture, the thread.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
It's not.
I see.
It's not on the shared screen. It's not visible on the shared screen.
What is it at? I thought I was looking. Okay, I've got like five of them open. Okay. I still think we, to solve the problem going forward, because someone else is going to have this issue that doesn't have GNU sed installed. They're going to have the FreeBSD sed. So if we just force the script to run inside of a inside the Docker container, it won't be an issue. That's all I'm saying.
That seems right, but whole point is, I don't see information that is proving that that's the root cause. Okay, I'm okay. I mean, it'll continue in the chat, fine. But yeah, running
Okay.
in container is a good idea. But you see just see the practical side of it, right? This thing is done when somebody is doing a release. The script is run only when somebody, so just for, and then it means the whole tree is on your workspace, which is almost always a laptop directory, right? And
Yeah.
And it was not happening until now. It's being reported only now. So if we can just wait until it's proved that that's the problem, then we can, like, make whatever changes are required, because it's not known as to what change for this problem start happening.
I've seen it before. I've had this problem.
Okay,
That's why I was
but did you install? Did you brew install?
I brew installed GNU sed. Actually, I installed all the GNU tools so I wouldn't have this problem. I think I saw this with like ShawSum as well.
Okay.
Anyway, I assigned myself. I'll work on that
Okay.
one. Can we talk about? Let's talk about this next one, and then we probably want to go into the project stabilization. What's up with this one, Long?
So back about almost 8 months or 9 months ago, we had the username Firth add this automation that we start generating manifest for 4 or 5 different versions, but that was because just two users wanted Kubernetes v 1.19 manifest, and then there is a feature or some field is different for 1.19 versus above v1.19. So now that we are deprecated 1.19, I don't think that's relevant. So we should I just put in a thing saying we should stop doing those multiple manifests and multiple directories and all of that. Just do one. We should start when we run that script and deploy and generate those manifests. We just do one per provider.
Okay, so go back to the old way that we were doing it instead of a manifest per version.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Is that something you think you can tackle?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Easy enough.
But that's where Ismail started looking at it, and we came into the the minus I thing as well.
Okay. Easy enough. Cool. Did I do everything I needed to do? Yeah, I did. Let's go ahead and pull up the project board. Probably should put those issues on there as well since we're working on them, the ones that you just assigned out. Okay. So Ricardo already did his bit for the open issue. How are we at? Let's go to the open one before I talk about my stuff. Where are we at with the open telemetry sidecar? I know we had that as an action item for the last release. We didn't get all of those changes in, did we?
I didn't bother to ping. No, I didn't bother Ricardo in midweek or during this time. But even though he said that I could ask him for time, but now I think I should, that we're talking about it for the second time. But he's now going to be working on control plane and that. So again, Ricardo, if you think we should wait, we can wait.
Yeah, I think we should wait.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want? I'll put the telemetry stuff in waiting then.
Yeah. Hey, so I need to pick up something on the door here. I will keep the meeting open, but I will be back in 8 minutes. Okay.
Just say
Okay.
that it's blocked.
Yeah,
How's blocks?
there is a delivery for me. Sorry, folks, and I need to pick up. Otherwise, they are just gonna away with my delivery.
Yeah, you don't want your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. We have
So
two
as
until
in the open telemetry, whatever Ricardo has suggested so far, I'll be talking about that with the guy who's put in the PR and do
Gotcha.
the half, do the only that part which is possible to be done now.
Okay. So we've got, yeah, there's another one in there. There's the other one. I'll just put them together. Got a lot of vulnerability stuff. What's a lot of CVE stuff. I think we're just gonna have to. So let's talk about the CVE stuff because I've added scanning now for all of them. So this will be doing both Trivy and Gripe scanning. But I'm having some issues because I'm using a new action from Distrolist that also does attestations. So it'll put them on to the you'll use cosign to verify the attestations. So it's having some issues with that right now, but as soon as that's done, we'll have I'll just walk through the action. So what it does is it does both Trivy, Gripe, and it will do Sneak if you add a Sneak token. But we don't have one yet. We can talk about that at another time. And then it will create attestations for all of them, so folks can verify that we either we've done the scans. And so I've got it set up to do it on workflow request, on pushes to main, and on PRs. We can probably pull it out of the PRs, or we can leave it in PRs and see if folks are introducing new vulnerabilities. That's the piece I wanted to discuss, is when do we want to run the scans? Obviously, I think we should run them on release, but that's.
Do you think you want to start by doing the same manual triggering?
So that's what the workflow dispatch can do. So we can just do a manual trigger. But I was thinking we do them on releases, at least on release and push to main. The question I have is, and we're also going to do them on a schedule so that as we get new changes happen. So I just want to make sure that we're always looking at these and seeing if new vulnerabilities are being introduced. That's why I was thinking on pull requests to main, we should also be looking at those, because that's when folks are adding new functionality or anything like that. If it increases the count or we see new things, it just keeps us abreast of what's happening. So that's really was the main talking point, is should we also do this on pull requests?
I think you and Ricardo decide on that, but there is a different angle as well. There is some people are posting scans on image. So they're not just talking about the Docker image. Sorry, they're talking about the chart. Chart. So some people are scanning the chart, and there is, I think, one issue right now. They say the chart shows vulnerability, the image doesn't, or the image shows different set of vulnerabilities and chart shows different set of vulnerabilities. So if you're going to do this,
yeah, I didn't know you could scan charts as well.
Yeah, Sneak. I also didn't know, but it seems that guy did it for using Snake or something on the chart. So that is one aspect. The second aspect is, if you're saying you're doing on PRs, at what time? I mean, I think it should be a post action. Only when something merges, then we do on the image.
Yeah. So I think right now, yeah, on PRs, we do build the image on PR. But I think the way that I have it written, it only does the current version. So it'll probably only be helpful on releases the way I have it written up. So I think, yeah, we're gonna have to wait for it to do the image build and then do the container scan. Good point.
Right.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. So that's a post action is what Ricardo always calls it, a post action. So
I'm gonna add that there. I'm gonna add this here to remind me. Also, I need to get it to not fail out because I don't want it to fail out if the vulnerability is found. I just want it to report.
right.
That's a good point. That will remind me what we're talking about. Okay. That's where I'm at with that one. I think the code QL stuff is completed and it runs. The only issue I think is it fails if it finds issues, and the issues are only available to maintainers on the project. So it's I think we might just want to keep that one as a scheduled scan. I don't remember if this does it on pushes as well. I've got to go look at the. Yeah, it will do on pull requests and on pushes to branches. I think we probably just want to move this one to a scheduled one because no one else can, because of the way it reports the scans, it reports it to the security page on GitHub, and only project maintainers can see that. So I'm just going to remove the schedule on this so that we can see it, and then open issues as we see them.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this code coverage? What does code QL do?
Code QL does the vulnerability scan. It's a vulnerability scanning static analysis from GitHub. So it's a security feature from GitHub.
Okay.
Okay. Was there anything in here that you were working on long that you wanted to add? Because I didn't see anything assigned to working that you're working on in here that's in progress.
No, but that's a different topic that Jintao is following up about adding the slash project whatever command to the bot.
Yeah.
So because all the issues which are supposed to be area stabilization are not listed here, right? So they have to make it here one somehow.
Yeah, I mean, we can also just go look at the issues for area stabilization if it's not on the project. We can do that as well. The ones that we've added. So I'm guessing this one, did this not get added to the project?
But ideally, we do want to have a view from the project page as well, right? As in some are for stabilization, but some are just good to have, nice to have, desired features only, but they're not part of stabilization. We want the differentiation, right?
Yeah, that was I think, yeah, that was a list we were talking about in Slack, was that there are open PRs that we need to discuss and probably get in.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, so I added that one. Let me see. I wonder if there's a way we can see if it's not. Here we go. No, it didn't add it to the.
Is there can you add a word there? It's like not
Yeah,
living.
it doesn't show up in the actual filter.
Okay.
Which is weird. Okay. Yeah, as you see things, if you see them and there are things that need to be on the project board, then just let me know. Let me know. Just ping me and ask me to add it to the project.
Okay. We'll have to also sync with Jintao on OpenResty bump. NGINX
Yeah, this
120.
one.
Yeah. That is higher priority now, right?
Yeah.
He's working on it,
But he's not here. Okay. All right, well, that's all I had to discuss, and Ricardo's not back yet. I just wanted to give folks an update on where I was at with the two things. The next thing I was going to work on from a release process perspective is I was going to add the release notes section to the feature request template and then install the release notes bot from SIG. I think SIG release has it, and so that when we can automate all of our release notes. It'll pull the release notes field from the pull requests, and then put it into release notes so that we don't have to do that again during releases. That's the first step at all of the release stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
I don't know. I was also thinking about being lazy and just adding a link to our release notes for the controller, add that to the Helm for the Artifactory release, because I don't know if it also automates the Artifactory release notes. So I think that's another action we could just have where it just on the Helm release, it just adds a link to the release notes.
I think the Artifactory one is special in some ways, but we have to verify that. Not sure.
Yeah. So yeah, one problem at a time, right? Okay. Anything else anyone wants to discuss before we break? Okay. I think we're good. Carol, I'll reach back out to you on Slack.
Yep, I've already started collecting the names on my end. They're a little slow on responding, so I'll continue to collect it for you.
No problem.
Thank you.
So James, there are some course. I don't know how do you pronounce that? CORS, and couple of TLS issues that we're not all talking about. We don't know how to deal with it, but maybe some of them are important for stabilization. So we'll have to do the discussion async on that.
Yeah, Adam in the dev channel, or add him to the action items in the community meeting notes.
Right.
Okay. All right, folks. Well, thank you, and we'll talk again in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right.